Hello again, deformed airplane fans. So I got another Ships of Cats airplane. It's a 3D printed model made by an aficionado. I actually ordered them and took a month for the person to make this because I paid for the person to paint it and all that stuff. So, okay, well, this is the Grumman F4F Hellcat, which is an airplane that replaced the earlier F4F Wildcat, and it was designed to counter the Mitsubishi Zero, which is a dominant plane when it first came out. But this then dominated that, I guess, and it was a much more docile plane to fly compared to the Corsair, so it was a far more successful plane. They made over 12,000 of them between 1942 and 1945, and this thing was powered by an 18-cylinder radial 46-liter engine made by Pratt & Whitney, making 2,000 horsepower. These things were, after the war, they were phased out of the military, but some were equipped with radar, and they remained in service as night fighters up until 1954. And then ultimately in Uruguay, their Navy retired this from military service in 1960. Okay, so let's take a look here. First, width-wise, wingspan of this thing is around 11 centimeters, like 4.5 inches or so. It is 3D printed, and you can see some of the diagonal lines there. Those are from the 3D print process itself. And I'm going to put it together first before I compare it to those photos. Let me change the camera angle here so I can see what's going on the screen. Well, let's take a look here. Alright, so there's a 2mm peg hole there. Might have to chase it with the drill bit. And I'm pretty sure it's painted in white plastic, but then painted this dark blue. And nice panel gaps here, panel details there. There's a little black paint where the exhaust would be coming out. So these round things are magnets, so you can put the ordnance on magnetically. And then I think you can recess the landing gear or have them down for taxiing on a runway. This must be for the rear. There's also another peg in there, peg hole there. Alright, let's see about the side. We have, I would have to assume these are decals. Hopefully they're under the clear coat. Yeah, alright. I did look up 69, I couldn't find any images. There's a little red marker there and a blue one on that side. I guess these must be the guns. Alright, they're staggered out, and they actually have recesses, so that's kind of cool. This is the engine, of course, but the propeller is magnetic, which I think is pretty smart. So you got some details for the radial cylinders. I guess banks of 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I don't see 18, but whatever. Okay, so then we have 69 there, and then some inlets there, pretty far in, these air intakes. And more black around there. These little louvers to exhaust heat, I guess. I don't know if this thing is supposed to come off. It's a little wobbly, this windshield. But the separation between the frame and the window, which is 3D printed, is very good. There's a little black instrument cluster, and it's all three-dimensional. It's not a decal. It's all actually all raised dials and stuff. Neat. There's a little flight stick down in there. Yeah, a little light khaki colored cloth for the seat, and it's a green interior. Nice durable thick antennae. Okay, so this person designs very robust models, not going for precision, which I kind of appreciate because it's not going to have a chance of breaking. I mean, that's really thick. It's a cartoon airplane, right? So it doesn't have to look realistic. I like the proportions of it. Alright, so getting all this stuff together now. Let's get the pilot filled into that cockpit. So first, yeah, we do have this figure. The face is just funny. It reminds me of like a Family Guy character or something, right? That kind of face. There are some air pockets from the 3D print process. That happens with my printer as well. The boots and the gloves are painted nice. There's like a life vest with a different colored collar, a headset, these goggle straps. So a lot of different paints going on this little character. I don't want the thing rattling around, so I put this poster putty under its butt, and we'll just squeeze that down. There you go. Now that's never going to come out, not by accident at least. And so here we have some, two magnets for the cockpit cover, and yeah, again painted nicely. So if it's closed, you can do that, and you can still see, but look at that. So this, maybe there's magnets around there, but yeah, it seems to want to be in the back position, which I think makes sense. Or the front position. That's cool. Very cool. I'm going to leave it in this position. Alright, so we got a bunch of ordnance. But also, let's do the landing mode first, because I think I'm going to pose this in the flight mode all the time. Looking at the photo, the tire sticks towards the outside, so there's this rectangle here, and there's a 69 on the hatch of that thing. Oh, this one's got tape. I don't know, maybe... Oh, that's the tail thing. Never mind. I'm going to take the tape off. It doesn't want to go in there. Oh, you know what? I bet it's just such a tight fit that if it was painted, it would be too tight. But then again, no, it's actually too loose. So, poster putty again. Actually, I'm going to take it out later, so I don't want it in that groove. Just here. Okay, so the tire is painted well enough, and the white landing gear, some details of course. And let's see, these are closed, so there's separate landing gear for the flight and taxiing modes. Alright. And then we have this fuel tank with 3 magnetized pylons. Very neat. I think I'm going to put the ordnance on later, because I'm going to switch out. You know, maybe I can do it right now. So these little green bombs are painted with these yellow stripes nicely. Yeah, I'm going to put those on the inside pylons there. And then you have these rockets, I assume, with little black stripes on them. Green tip, gunmetal rear, just a hole in the back. It's really neat. Uh-oh. Well, for a moment I thought I was missing a missile. It was hidden behind that. Alright, so putting those on is nice and easy, right? Very cool. Look at that thing. That's awesome. So we'll put those on later. And I guess I'm going to mix it up. Well, first, we should look at that landed mode, right? It's a pretty chunky fuselage on this airplane, right? And it's actually quite large. I mean, look how small the human is in that photograph there. And look how small these people are on the aircraft carrier trying to get its wing gun all in place. Yeah, so the deformation is great. I like it. Alright, I'm going to mix it up and do the comparisons now. I'm going to end with the flight mode. So I'm going to show you a bunch of model kits that I haven't even probably posted yet. This is by Tiger Model, and you have to make this yourself. I 3D printed my own character. This is the Corsair, which was really problematic in its development. So it was faster, but it was more difficult to fly and land. This is the actual other plane I reviewed for the SBD Dauntless. So this is also by the same designer, as you can see by the characters and stuff. Okay, so Hasegawa has these egg planes, and this is a TBF Avenger, and they literally look like egg shells with, you know, accoutrements to make them look like flying eggs. Alright, so I'm going to close these photos out, they're distracting. As you can see, This is much more narrow than that. This is a two-person plane, so I guess that makes sense. And I think it fits in with these two other brands also. I guess the eggplane is the most far away because the wings are so thin, whereas these wings are chunky and those are kind of in between. Alright, so you'll see videos of those later, or maybe I already posted them. You just have to look up Hasegawa or Tiger model or something. Okay, so now back to this. Let's get this out. Get this one out. Gotta wiggle that out. Get that out. So now we have the one that's all folded up and it's magnetized. Very good. Oh, lost focus. Sorry, I know. And so even the closed hatches have the decals. I think it goes this way. Let's get that bomb out of here. Nope, no, I think this way. Alright, so it wants to be angled like this. That's the best way I can just show it to you. And yeah, you're gonna have to take off the ordnance a little to get those things in place. These fit pretty snug, and you'll probably have to have a toothpick. No, actually you could just use your fingertip to get that out, so that's convenient. A little magnet there. Oh, well, this is odd. I thought there'd be a flight stand hole. Yeah, so you might want to leave it in landing mode. But I kind of have grown to like them flying. Do I want to drill a hole in this thing? It was expensive, but I don't know. Yeah, I forgot. There is a peg hole. The problem is you're going to have to lose the belly tank in order to access that peg hole. So that's unfortunate. Unless you drill a second peg hole. Alright, well, yeah, you gotta lose that tank. So that's unfortunate. I can see some striation from the 3D print process, but you're just gonna get that with 3D printed stuff. I guess it would just take longer to fill in all those ridges, and so I can understand why they're visible. Anywho, alright, well, I'm still really happy I have this. I think it looks awesome. Oh, wait a sec. Have it fly with the thing open like that. The magnetized parts are really cool. I like the big machine guns and the wings. It just looks cool. It's a cool looking little deformed airplane. So I'm going to review a few more, and they're kind of come a little later on. So I appreciate you watching, and you can look forward to those other airplane reviews. All right, take care.